We have some toasty temperatures heading our way across Kentucky for your Sunday. Hey there, friends. Meteorologist Shane Smith here with you. It is Saturday, March 21st, 2026. And check out these forecast high temperatures tomorrow from the high resolution rapid refresh model. We are talking temperatures heading mid to upper 80s. Some areas may even flirt with 90 degrees. And there's a pretty good chance several records are going to fall tomorrow because a lot of those record highs are in the low to mid 80s. So it is going to feel like a true taste of summer, except in the middle of March on the third day of spring. A little bit crazy to think about. However, with that heat, we've got the potential of a few thunderstorms. We'll talk about that here in a second. Right now, we're going to radar Omega, and you can see there's an area of low pressure building up around Minneapolis. That's going to dive down into the Ohio Valley tomorrow, riding along the edge of a heat ridge which has broken out across the central and western part of the country. There is a good chance you have heard about the incredibly warm temperatures going on out into the Great Plains. I saw portions of Arizona and New Mexico were pushing close to triple digits, if not into triple digits, earlier today. Now, as that cold front and low pressure dives into the Ohio Valley tomorrow night, and it runs into that warm air, there is a pretty good chance of some strong to severe thunderstorms. The Storm Prediction Center has all of northern Kentucky, pretty much north of I-64, highlighted in a 2 out of 5 on the severe weather scale. That's a slight risk. There is a marginal risk south of there, and you notice by the time we get down near the Tennessee border, that severe risk fades to general thunderstorms. We'll talk why that is in just a second. But just to break down those risks for you, a 2 out of 5 is a slight risk. So isolated to scattered severe storms, the small potential of a tornado. Our actual biggest threat tomorrow is going to be the hail, even more so than the damaging wind threat. That's a little bit different than the last couple of times we've had severe weather lately. And that marginal risk is a isolated severe threat, much more limited in nature. And that's because those storms are going to weaken as they move south tomorrow. The environment not going to be quite as conducive to gusty winds or even potential. But like I said, for the biggest risk, it's going to be the hail. 15% risk. Some of that could be larger than an inch and a half in diameter, especially up in far northeastern Kentucky along the Ohio River, running from Covington back over towards Ashland. That's where the best chance of severe weather is as far as large hail tomorrow. And then as we go further south, those chances weaken because those thunderstorms are going to be moving into some less favorable conditions because the temperature is not going to be as hot by the time they get there. The heat is really what's going to drive those thunderstorms tomorrow, but it's not a surefire slam dunk severe weather setup. So here we go into the afternoon using the HRRR model. I've got the temperatures posted up there, and you can see it's just going to be flat hot across the area, and thunderstorms should start to initiate just north of the state around 9 or 10 o'clock tomorrow. Now, these are going to be booming up into portions of Indiana and Ohio. Likely going to be some big-time hail makers with this system up to our north, but even as they move south, they should hold together long enough to possibly bring some severe thunderstorms. You'll see here we are by midnight, the main line approaching I-64. I think that may be holding it back just a hair too much. We'll have to wait and see about that. But you do notice those storms dissipate as they move south because the temperatures begin to drop as we go into the middle of the night, and they'll lose a lot of that fuel. In fact, we may wake up here in London not seeing much but a little bit of rain around 4 or 5 in the morning from this system, and then it moves on out of here, and you'll notice some much cooler air behind it. Highs tomorrow, on Monday, only into the 50s, so 80s to 50s That is quite the swing. And let's take a look at the extended forecast from the European model going past that as we go on into Tuesday. Tuesday morning, we're going to wake up into the 30s. Should top out back into the 60s, pretty much area-wide. Tuesday afternoon should be a dry day. Wednesday morning, we wake up mid to upper 40s across the state. Spotty shower or two possible as we go into the mid to upper 60s. A little bit better chance of rain on Thursday morning as a weak disturbance passes through the region, but we're back to the 70s by the afternoon. Then it looks like we try to have a cold front dive down into the region on Friday. So the forecast remains a little bit on the active side. You do notice the GFS not quite as aggressive with those warmer temperatures on Thursday. Or excuse me, it's a little more aggressive. The European was not as aggressive. It's saying we're going back to the upper 70s. We'll have a couple of days of a cool down going into next weekend, then 60s followed by more 70s as we break into the month of April, and a lot of schools will be on spring break. So we will keep an eye on that forecast then. So overall, the pattern looking a little bit more on the active side as we go into your Sunday. We do have that potential for severe weather. So tomorrow is going to be one of those days where you stay weather aware. Make sure to have the old NOAA weather radio handy. You can find those on Amazon or at your local hardware store. Just go find you a Midland weather radio and have multiple ways to receive warnings, especially in northern Kentucky. I'm not expecting this to be a bad severe weather outbreak, but one or two of those storms could definitely spike up and cause some problems up in northern Kentucky tomorrow. So that's going to do it for me tonight. I hope you will check back in. If I need to cut in tomorrow night and go live, we will, and we'll see what happens. But once again, I don't think this is going to be too bad of a storm system. So until next time, friends, I'm meteorologist Shane Smith. Take care, stay weather aware, and I'll catch you all in the next one.